So here's the agenda. We'll spend a bit of time looking at the reasons behind the change, as well as pointing out some of the features which have been recently added or will be in the near future. And then we'll talk about the transition process from where you are now with G Suite to where you'll be with Workspace. And we'll also give you a quick update on G Suite tips and how the change will affect the site. I did mention earlier just about questions, so we'll have time at the end of the session for any questions. So if you've got any questions, just pop them into the chat box on the right-hand side of the screen, and we'll answer as many as we can at the end of the session. Any we can't do, we'll answer after the session. And we will be making a recording available, so you can share with your colleagues or review the information. So the first thing we'll do is take a look at the reasons behind the change from a strategic perspective and how Google has addressed the changes to working practices brought about by COVID-19. The COVID lockdown regimes changed the way people work, learn, and teach, and technology played a large role in making this happen. Imagine how we would have coped without the remote working technology we have today. The changes are still ongoing. A recent survey by Insight suggests up to 48% of knowledge workers will continue to work remotely even after the COVID crisis is over. Some teams will operate without ever meeting in person. And so the phrase, work is something you do, not somewhere you go, has never been more relevant. Google has recognized that this change in working practices requires a radical change in the G Suite product range. It has accelerated the move from siloed apps to true app integration that help workers make the most of their time, regardless of where they are working from. With 2.6 billion monthly active users, Google has the scale to make the rapid changes needed to support these new ways of working with their technology. And the speed of innovation this year, especially in the Meet product, has been truly outstanding. The changes can be grouped into the three main categories. User experience is a new, deeply integrated service across the G Suite range. Brand identity is a new product name and new icons for the G Suite services. And also changes to the product items and the plans available, which will mean a transition for existing G Suite users. The three core themes associated with Workspace are simple, flexible, and helpful. The aim is to increase employee efficiency by providing the tools they need where and when they need them. Being simple means that the tools are intuitive and both seasoned and new users can use them out of the box. And the tools are available from anywhere with an internet connection. And this has been a founding principle since day one of the products over a decade ago. Extending functionality is also a reality with the extensive range of integrations and APIs available. Being helpful means that the tools bring a real advantage to users, providing functions which users can take advantage of whenever they need them. Some of the recent advances in AI within the G Suite range is evidence of this. Things like Smart Compose, Smart Reply, smart suggestions, voice input, noise reduction, etc. These are all examples of how the tools help the user get things done. The change to working practices ushered in by an increased level of remote working is nothing new, but the unprecedented number of workers spending more time away from the office has shifted working practices, probably for the foreseeable future. We have all had to get used to not being physically in an office with our colleagues. And the move to Google Workspace helps with remote collaboration by ensuring that everyone has access to the information they need and that team members feel valued and that they have a positive impact on the organization. The first thing you may notice is a change of branding, and this isn't just a change in name to Workspace. It means new icons for all the Workspace services. Your users will probably have all the new icons on their devices already. As you may have read in the press, the feedback on the icons has been mixed, to say the least. Some users are saying that they like the uniformity of them, others that they are too similar and confusing. There is even a Chrome extension called Restore Old Google Icons, which does exactly what it suggests. Useful if you really need to revert to the previous iconography. The key change is a new home for work with a single page providing access to mail, chat, voice and video calling. And better integration between services is also a major factor. And this short video shows what is coming soon.
Okay, let's get started.
Can we make that orange?
Great, there we go.
Okay, what do you think, Steve? Steve?
So we've seen the consolidation of services in Gmail with access, as I say, to chat rooms and Meet available in a single unified experience. Some of the most interesting changes are connected with the integration of services, such as the ability to grant access to documents in chat, previewing files without opening them, displaying contact details when mentioning someone in a document, etc. One of my personal favorite features is Meet in Picture, which we saw in the video, where Meet calls can be initiated from within documents. And this is great when you are discussing a document with colleagues or a client. Before, you could only view the document and talk in the background. Now you can actually see the other people in the video and talk whilst viewing the document together. And this gives you the ability to pick up on non-verbal clues during the conversation and really greatly improves the quality of collaboration. Okay, so there's kind of a little bit about the background to the change. In this section of the event, we'll look at the new Workspace products and your options for transitioning from G Suite. There is quite a lot of detail to get through, and we won't be able to assess every individual situation, as you can imagine. So if your circumstances don't fit in with these situations that we show here, we can arrange a discussion or a call to discuss them further, either with us, if you've got a Google partner, or with Google Direct, and we'll be able to help you out. The lines have always been blurred between small, medium businesses and enterprise users, and which version of G Suite they should use. Google is attempting to clarify this with the product plans available in Workspace. So SMB users are typically those with up to 300 users. And beyond that, Google considers you to be an enterprise customer, and you are encouraged to use an enterprise plan. So more of that later. And first, we'll look at the new SMB products. Business Starter is the old G Suite Basic product and stays pretty much the same. Some additional Meet features are added, such as background blur, but many of the more advanced Meet and collaboration features are not available in this product. Business Standard is the closest match to G Suite Business, with probably two major exceptions. Unlimited storage has been replaced with a 2 terabyte storage limit per user, which is pooled across the domain. And to us, this does make more sense. 99% of users don't reach this level, and pooling it across users improves convenience. The other major change is the removal of Vault at this level, and this is only available in Business Plus and above. And Vault automatically, for those who don't know, automatically archives any inbound and outbound emails, as well as all documents created by any user on your domain. And notably, it's no longer available as an add-on product for either Business Starter or Standard, as it was previously with G Suite. However, it is available for non-profit plans at the moment. The ability to record meets is available with Business Standard. And some of you may have noticed that the premium meet features, such as recording and live streaming, are no longer available. Google offered these free of charge at the start of the coronavirus crisis, but this free period has now ended. Share drives, which used to be team drives, is also introduced at this level. The Business Plus version offers enhanced security features such as Vault, basic data loss prevention features, which prevents personal and sensitive information, such as credit card and national insurance numbers, from leaking out of the organization. Also, endpoint security, along with more Meet features, as you can see, are also included in Business Plus. So things are a little bit less congested in the enterprise space. And the Enterprise Essentials product is essentially aimed at organizations who wish to provide the advanced document, chat, and video conferencing features of Workspace without replacing their current email and calendar services. The Enterprise Standard version offers an increased level of security features, such as advanced data loss prevention, Cloud Identity Premium, which is an alternative to Microsoft Active Directory, and also improved user and domain management features. It increases the number of users available in Meets to 250 and introduces live streaming. Storage at this level isn't unlimited, but again starts at 5 terabytes, which is pooled across all users. And additional space can be requested if needed. We haven't quite seen how this works yet with any of our customers, but it seems to be that as standard, a user gets 5 terabytes, and then if you need more, it's a request to Google via a help desk ticket to request more. Enterprise Plus builds on the security features of Standard, adding in the security center to manage any incidents more effectively. And also available is the Pro version of AppSheet. And if you haven't seen AppSheet, it's well worth looking at. It builds mobile and desktop apps from spreadsheets, but in a low-code environment, so anyone effectively can build apps. And this is effectively the replacement app for App Maker, which Google ceased about 12 months ago, for those that can remember that. Connected Sheets is available with this version too, and this allows users to access BigQuery in Google Sheets to perform very large data queries. And finally, the ability to archive email data to third-party tools, such as Barracuda or Mimecast, comes with the Enterprise Plus product. So these are the recommended transition options from your existing G Suite product. We will explore each route in detail to help you decide which Workspace product is right for your business. And as I mentioned, that we are verifying with Google some of the individual client situations and some of the very finer details. So these recommendations may not be the most suitable for you. If you are currently on G Suite Basic, or the equivalent of education or the non-profit version, then really I think you've got the easiest transition. Workspace Business Starter has essentially the same functions as Basic, so it's a natural choice. It doesn't include some of the more advanced Meet features, such as recording, polls, Q&A, etc., or the more advanced collaboration features like Share by Pin and Share Drives, so Business Standard is definitely worth considering. Business Plus steps up the security of data held in Workspace through Vault archiving and also data loss prevention. And finally, if you have a strong need to stream your Meet events live, then Enterprise Standard should be considered. And this also includes Cloud Identity Premium, which includes automated user provisioning, app whitelisting, and automated mobile device management. So any of these options will be suitable depending on your requirements. So for those of you who are currently on G Suite Business, there are some options available. The natural choice is Workspace Business Standard, but there are two differences highlighted here. No Vault, and it's not unlimited storage. More meet and collaboration features are added, which balances out these loss of features though. If you need the archiving and e-discovery features of Vault, then Business Plus is the best choice. And as before, if Meet live streaming or Cloud Identity Premium are needed, then Enterprise Standard may be an option for your organization. If you use G Suite Enterprise or use G Suite Business and need to improve your security stance, then one of the Workspace Enterprise products should be your choice. Enterprise Standard offers improved security features over the business versions and includes archiving, advanced data loss prevention, and improved domain security management. It also includes advanced Meet features and virtually unlimited storage space. And Enterprise Plus adds to the third-party email archiving, access to AppSheet Pro, and Security Center for incident management. Just want to say quickly what Google are considering to be SMB and enterprise organizations. If I just go back to the list of options here. So Google are saying that any organization with more than 300 users should be on an enterprise plan. We're talking about corporate versions here, not education or non-profits. We'll come to those later. What that essentially means is that if you're currently on G Suite Business or you're on G Suite Basic, then at the point of renewal, and we'll come to timings later, at the point of renewal, you will be encouraged to move up to an enterprise plan. Now, as you can see, there's quite a jump in cost here. And we're working through a number of circumstances and situations with some of our G Suite customers to try to understand exactly how this will work. So it's definitely worth flagging this early within the process. If you have that number of users, speak to your Google partner, speak to Google Direct if you're a direct customer, or come back to us and we can help you work through some of the circumstances which we've come across, because that's definitely one of the most elements which is dangerous, we would say, and most confusing. Google have made pretty good job of this, of trying to clarify what features fit within which clients and which circumstances. However, there's lots of data to go through and it is quite difficult. So again, go to whoever you work with, your partner, Google, or come to us and we'll try to answer your questions for your specific circumstances. Okay, so again, talking about timescales. So when will these changes take place? The answer really depends on what type of contract you have with Google. If you are on an annual plan, then you will transition at the end of your current term. And multi-year contracts will be honored, so you will transition at the end of your final year. You can choose to transition to a Workspace plan straight away if you wish, although there are one or two exceptions of this, so it's well worth checking. If your contract is a monthly one, then you will transition in January 2021, so next January. And again, you can move across now earlier if you wish, if you need to take advantage of some of the new products and features. And as a reminder, you can transition now in most circumstances if you wish to. There are some really good incentives around at the moment from Google to encourage you to transition, particularly for the enterprise products. If you can consider a multi-year contract too, then do so, as this increases the level of discount available. And these depend on the length of term and the products you are moving to. So it's worth having a discussion again with your Google partner or with Google itself, or come through to us. So here are some additional notes about the upcoming changes. So Workspace is not currently available for education and non-profit organisations, although it is expected to be made available in the coming months. Our current understanding is that it will follow a similar pattern to the corporate versions. Education will be an equivalent to Business Starter, and enterprise education will be similar to Enterprise Plus. The non-profit version is likely to be the same as Business Standard, but this is yet to be confirmed. As soon as we have more information, we'll update you. Google Voice can be added to all Workspace products, and this is a cloud-based telephony service, and it's got deep integration with Workspace. If you haven't looked at this again, it's well worth having a look at because it's a great service. We're seeking confirmation regarding G Suite Lite or deskless licenses, and again, we'll notify those affected through G Suite Tips when we have something concrete. And we currently understand that partial domain licensing remains the same as the current terms. And this allows organizations with large numbers of users to have different products for different groups of users. So you can have a mix of plans, which is very useful. Okay, so finally, some changes will be taking place to the G Suite Tips site. We will be rebranding it to Workspace and are working through the details now. As you can imagine, it's quite a job that we have there. Once the new site is up and running, you will be redirected to it from gsuitetips.com, so you'll be able to find it easily. After much persuasion from users of the site, we are introducing some training options for G Suite Tips users. These will be both public and private training courses, and we'll cover everything from new starters to advanced topics. And we'll have more details available once they're released, but please let us know if you've got any immediate requirements, and that will help us shape the plans. We've updated our premium tools to incorporate shared drives where necessary, and these add some serious functionality, which is lacking in the core Workspace product. And the free versions are also worth checking out. They can be found in the tools section of gsuitetips.com. Our Overdrive product continues to go from strength to strength. And for those who haven't seen this, it automatically creates sites and portals from your Workspace data. And it's used for intranets, extranets, project workspaces, education portals, etc. And again, it's worth taking a look at this as it greatly improves on what Google Sites can offer for those who are using it. Okay, so hopefully that's added to your understanding of why Google has made the change and how it affects you going forward. I know there's still quite a lot of unknowns in this area, but we're starting to work through the details. There may be some individual circumstances which will require further investigation. So speak to your partner, speak to Google, or come through to us if you need anything specific. So I've got some time for questions, which is good. So I'll gradually work through these. Okay, so I know that a video recording will be available. It'd be great to have a cheat sheet in writing which we can review and share with our teams so that we understand better the upcoming changes. Yeah, that's an interesting one, actually. We could release the information in here, although it's not in a particular good format. It wouldn't take us a great deal to put something together that you can share with your team. So we're going to send the recording out with some links to other information. Just respond back if you want that cheat sheet or anything else that we can help with, and we'll put that together. Question is Overdrive included in the cost of the new Workspace? No, Overdrive is a third-party product, so it's like any of your admin tools or your backup tools. It's extra cost on top. Again, we'll provide more information as that. Will there be a copy folder feature in Workspace finally? Question from Glenn. Glenn, there isn't. We haven't seen it. We don't know whether Google are working on it. The good news is on our G Suite Tips site, we do have a copy folder function, which allows you to copy whole folder structures, including the contents and assets contained within the folder. There's a free version that works with My Drive, and there's a premium version which works with shared drive. So we spotted that gap, and in fact worked with a couple of our customers who needed it. So we've made it available on G Suite Tips. It's in the tools section. Have a look on there. What is the tool called that creates apps from spreadsheets? I'm sorry, I think someone answered that actually. It's called AppSheet. With the Enterprise Plus version, you get a pro version of AppSheet. Definitely worth having a look at if you need anything for capturing data remotely in the field. It works very good. Question from Ken: will there be support available to transition over to Google Workspace? Having just set the system up for our organization, it will need to be a safe, secure, and effectively managed process. Yeah, what we've seen so far, Ken, for the organizations which we've moved across, is that it's a completely seamless process. Some of the things are happening in the background already, like the icon changes, but to actually move from G Suite over to Workspace is just a flick of a switch. So it's only thing you've got to consider is the features which you're either adding in or taking away, and how you notify your users of that. Question from Marcel: this is a huge price increase for G Suite Basic users from $6 to $20 per user. Yeah, Marshall, if you've got more than 300 users, which I'm guessing by the question, you are absolutely right. There are great incentives at the moment. We don't know how long those incentives are going to stick around. And as I said before, it's Google's position that they're encouraging enterprise organizations to take the enterprise plan. I think speak to your partner, speak to Google, come back through us. We can work through your individual requirements. Question from Frank: if we are still on the old free version? Great question. So a bit of history. So Google used to provide, I think it started out at 50 licenses, dropped down to 10 eventually, then it disappeared probably 4 or 5 years ago. So Frank, you've been on that free version for a while. And that's a great question. I really don't know what the situation is with this. There aren't many of you left with the free version. Frank, what I'll do, I'll take the question. I'll try and find out for you, and I'll come back to you. My suspicion is you'll transfer over to Workspace Starter, but I'll verify that with you. Just to clarify, is Google Workspace replacing G Suite, or is it transferring to Google Workspace as an optional service? No, absolutely, it's a replacement, Ken. So as I said before, it's not just a branding exercise. It is a complete change. So everybody will be transitioning over to Workspace. Some of those changes are just commercial. So you are getting new information, you're getting new products, you are getting new price plans. Some of it is functionality. So you're getting different functionality depending on what plan you choose. So yeah, it is a changeover to Workspace. Question from Anne: what do these prices indicate per user per month? Yeah, that's exactly right, Anne. So those are dollar prices. You'll have your local currency, and they may vary from those dollar prices, so it's worth checking. Sebastian, I'm for now on Business Standard, and I'm using eDiscovery, which is the Vault tool, so I lose that functionality. Yeah, if you stay on Business Standard, absolutely, Sebastian. Business Plus has got the Vault feature and function. Your current Business Standard does not have that. So again, you've got to question how useful is that? Is it worth upgrading to Plus to get the Vault and also the additional services which come with that? Yes, we'll send a recorded out afterwards. Would this be safe, confidential for an NGO to use telehealth and to store client information in G Drive? Yep, it's a very complicated question. Anything about security is complicated. From what we understand, it's got all the badges that you need, but it's definitely worth checking out to make sure that it fits with your security requirements. The workspaces option in Drive, will it be possible to share workspaces? So Workspace is an unusual term. Essentially what Workspace is just a branding. So there's no central place where you can hold Drive documents, calendars, contacts, maps, etc. That's why there's been an introduction of some third-party products like our Overdrive product, which allows you to pull in information across G Suite and Workspace. So you can have a calendar next to an embedded document, next to a contact list, next to a map, and anything else that you need. So there's a slight confusion about the Workspace. Okay, I think that's all we've got time for. That's just about it. We will leave the chat open, so if there's anything, any of the questions that you want to ask, just bob them into the chat. We will also review the questions, any that we've missed, because I think there are some. We will come back to you. But again, what I'd encourage you to do, if you've got a Google partner, speak to your Google partner. If you are with Google Direct for your licenses, speak to your account manager that route. And if you're stuck, you're not getting the answers that you want, then come through to us and we'll happily help. Okay, thanks everybody for joining. Thank you for all the questions. Hope you found that useful. Sorry about the audio issues to start with, but hopefully you found that useful. So thank you.